my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So for today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a beef Wellington. Now, I know it sounds fancy and complicated, but it really isn't, and I'm going to show you how I do mine. So if you want to see how I do it, then keep watching. But before we get started, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell, and that's just going to let you know every time when I do put up a video, you'll be the first to know, okay? So enough talking, let's go ahead and get cooking. So I'm going to start off with 1.5 pounds of some really good ground beef. I'm going to add this to the bowl, and I like to use the meat that's pretty lean, not with a whole lot of fat. And I'm also going to crack and add 2 eggs. I have some Italian breadcrumbs, and I'm going to go ahead and add 4 tablespoons to the meat, along with 2 tablespoons of dried parsley. Here's 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and just to make sure that the meat is nice and moist, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of milk. And I'm going to take my hands and I'm just going to mix and combine everything together. Okay, so this is what the meat is going to look like, and you're just going to sit it to the side, and we're going to get started on the next step, which is chopping up 8 ounces of baby bella mushrooms. These are my favorite mushrooms. I eat mushrooms all the time, and I just really think that baby bellas taste so much better than the others. Alrighty then, so I'm done chopping up all of my mushrooms, and now I'm ready to move it over to the stove, where I'm just going to melt over medium heat 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And off camera, I went ahead and I chopped 1 small onion, and now I'm ready to add that to the melted butter. And now I'm ready to add all the chopped mushrooms. And just grab a spoon and begin sauteing the onions and the mushroom together until the onions are translucent and the mushrooms are nice and tender. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the heat a little bit and add 4 chopped garlic cloves and 1/2 cup of red wine. Now, some recipes recommend a dry red wine, but I'm not an expert, so just use the red wine that you really love and enjoy. And now at the very end, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of fresh chopped basil. And just take the spoon and give it another big stir, and don't worry, the alcohol is going to cook out. It's just going to give it a lot of amazing flavor. And at this point, you just want to raise the heat just so that the liquid can reduce down and the onions and the mushrooms will be completely sauteed. And once it's done, just take it off the heat so that it can cool down for a little bit. But let's get started on the pastry. Now, what makes beef Wellington such a fancy recipe is that it's a delicious piece of meat wrapped up in some puff pastry. So right now, I just take some flour and put it on my board and just getting it ready. And this is the pastry I'm going to be using, and I'm just going to take it out the package and just lay it flat on the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 individual mini beef Wellingtons. So I have a pizza cutter, or if you have a knife, go ahead and use your knife and just cut 4 squares. So I have a cookie dish, and I've already sprayed it down with some nonstick spray and some parchment paper, and as you can see, I'm just going to lay down my 4 squares on top. Okay, so now I'm ready to add the first layer to each square with the sauteed mushrooms and onions that I cooked earlier. And now for the next layer, I'm going to add some shredded mozzarella cheese. So I divided the ground beef in 4 parts, and you can see I just take my hands and as if I'm making a hamburger patty, and I'm just going to add each part on top of the sauteed mushrooms and onions and the mozzarella cheese. So now I'm taking each corner of the pastry dough and I'm going to cover everything up, pinching the edges together. And then I'm going to flip it over, making sure that the seam side is down so that nothing comes out. And right now I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut a couple of slits on top of each bundle. So before I put it in the oven, I'm going to brush it with an egg wash. So I'm just going to crack one egg and add just a little bit of milk, mix this together, and just take a brush and just brush each bundle with the egg wash. And also the egg wash is going to create a beautiful golden brown crust. So this is what your mini beef Wellingtons are going to look like. I've already preheated the oven at 400 degrees and I'm going to let these bake off between 30 and 40 minutes. So while these bake off, I'm going to make a quick brown gravy. So in a saucepan, I've melted 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter where I add 2 tablespoons of flour, and I'm just going to take a spoon and mix them both together. And yeah, you want to make sure that the flour is completely dissolved in the butter, and I'm cooking this over a medium heat. And the flour is going to create the thickness for the gravy. And now I'm ready to add and continue to stir in 1.5 cups of beef broth. And to add a bit more flavor, I'm going to add a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of some heavy cream, and of course at the very end you want to add some sea salt and some black pepper. And just continue to stir it together. You're going to bring it up to a boil and your sauce is going to get nice and thick and your gravy is going to turn out perfect. And now after 40 minutes of baking in the oven, this is what the mini beef Wellingtons are looking like, you guys. Look how beautiful, golden brown. That's what that egg wash did for the outside of the beef Wellingtons. And look how beautiful that looks. So fancy, but yet so easy. And you can enjoy it with some of your favorite side dishes like mashed potatoes or any of your favorite vegetables. You can see I'm drizzling some of that delicious gravy on top. And I'm just going to drizzle just a little bit of shredded basil. Look how beautiful, easy. You can make it any time of the week. So delicious. I really enjoyed making this recipe and we are done, you guys. And if you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Share it with everybody you know. Follow me, tag me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you give this recipe a try, comment down below and let me know what you think. Now wait, you guys, before you leave, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel by hitting that subscriber button down at the bottom. And if you want to see another video, go ahead and click that box you see over there. But until then, thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate you all, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye-bye.